What's up, everybody, and welcome to the iReach podcast. I'm your host, Paul Robinson, founder and CEO of ConstructReach, a national consultancy and initiative that aims to diversify the construction, design, and innovation industries and empower a younger generation. Every single week, we are here merging education, industry, and culture with a variety of featured guests that you do not want to miss. So let's go, iReach. All right, what's going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of iReach and got an amazing guest with us today, Tracey Hill. Thank you, Tracey, for joining us today. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. Listen, let's get right into it here. You know, part of why we do this is to highlight various stories of folks who have entered into this industry, who've been able to thrive, but also they can just kind of share some good wisdom, some good feedback, you know, as we try to bring these opportunities and information and education about construction to a younger demographic. And so let's talk a little bit about your journey. How did you get into this industry?
No, I was about 5 or 6 years old, and my dad was like, I want to teach you something. And I'm like, well, I'm a girl. You need a son for that. I don't want to learn how to do cars and houses and things like that. I was like, no. And he was like, oh, you're going to learn how to make some money. You're going to learn how to get out here and do some things. And I said, okay, Dad. All right. No problem. I married you. I'm going to be happy with you. Let's do this. Teach me all you know. I get out there. I'm learning how to mud. I'm learning how to do houses, roofing, porches, cement masonry, floors, waterproofing, basements, electrical, plumbing. And I'm doing all this before I'm 15, 16 years old. I did my own prom. So I was just shocked, like, oh my God, I'm making money like hands over fist. And I'm like, I ain't even 18 yet. I was like, I don't want to do this. I burnt out. I got burnt out on it. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that was like, I want to say 96, 97. I said I don't want to do it no more and went to the plants, went to the auto manufacturing plants. And from that point on, I've been doing manufacturing for like 15 years. And just the last 3 years, I say, you know what? I'm going back to my roots. I'm going back to construction. I'm going back to renovation and residential renovation of houses. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3-4 years. And I've been very lucrative at it. I'm content. That's the most I can say. I'm content.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, especially to be that young and making money, right? Especially when you ain't got any bills, really. Not the adult kind of bills, right? You ain't adulting yet when you're in high school, although sometimes we think we are. You know what I'm saying? And so to be able to still make money like that, especially with the kind that comes within this industry, I mean, that had to be something that kind of brought you back to it. But, you mentioned something just about your childhood and how, your stepdad introduced you into being able to have a trade and being able to build and create, with your hands. And that's always going to be a need. Talk to me a little bit about, like, during that process, as you were going through it and you were learning, like, talk to me a little, take me back to that mentality of when you were being introduced to it, but then also when you started to kind of pick it up and you started to get good at it.
Yeah. Okay. So it was about, I don't know, I want to give you somewhere around like 88, 89. I was probably about 7, 8 years old at the time. And maybe 9, and I was just getting out every day with my stepdad in the summer. Like, I didn't get to go outside like every other kid. Like, oh, let's ride bikes, let's go play hide and seek, dodgeball, 5,000, throw the ball, like old school games that we used to play, red light, green light, okay? You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to do those things as a kid. And my stepdad was like, oh, you don't have time for that. We finna go paint Miss Johnson's porch down the street. And I know you were upset because it's the summer, but you passed. You finished school. That's it. That's the wrap for that. Miss Johnson down the street near the porch painted. I'm going to need you to scrape that down for me. And once you scrape that down, I need you to pick up all the paint chips around the house. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm calling my mom, telling my mom, Ma, save me. She like, I ain't about to save you, girl. Shoot, you down there working. You be all right. I'm going to have dinner ready when you get back. My face just dropped. Sure, no problem. Miss Johnson porch turned out to be Mr. Anderson's roof. Turned out to be Miss Mayfield's fence. I'm like, oh my God, we all over the neighborhood. Before you know it, I had a Rolodex that was so big by the time I was 19 years old. I'm good at it. I'm waking up every day, probably 16, 17 years old, telling, my friends who talk about some, let's go to the mall and get our hair and nails done. I'm like, man, I wish I could, but I gotta go do this plumbing job over here. I gotta sweat these pipes and do this plumbing job. They're like, what? Man, you better let your stepdad do that. I'm like, no. See, I told the lady I was coming over because my dad said don't lie to customers. If you're going to be honest with them, be honest with them. Be straight up with them. Tell them you're going to come. Make sure you show up. Don't be bad at that. And I'm like, okay. And I did it a couple times. I'm coming, never show up, be at the mall, hanging out. Man, it taught me a lesson too, because one day I came back to a job and I said I was going to come back and I didn't show up. He had the job already done by somebody else. I was so sad that all my money was gone to someone else. I said, oh, this won't never happen again. I'm going to be on time for every job. And from that point on, I was just, anything I make a plan for, I'm there. I'm doing it. I'm getting it done. And it just seemed like it just evolved. Like, I was 19 years old, and then I bought my first property at 21. And all I could say to myself was, oh man, I got a hole in the roof. They stole all the copper out. I live in Detroit, Michigan, but for those that don't know, I'm in Detroit. Yeah, a house only as good as somebody's living in it for like 60 days. If no one's in there for 60 days, that house is gone. It's been stripped to the bones. So I'm getting in a house, and I find a house for $1,700. And I said, ooh, $1,700, are you serious? They're like, yeah, the house is bad shape and this. And I'm like, bad shape? Yeah, right. Is it standing up? Does it got a basement? You know what I'm saying? Can I put doors up to it? Is the window still on it? Yeah, everything's still. Oh, shit, that's a good house. I'm happy. I'll be back. And for the whole summer, I worked on that property until I was 22, and it got fixed and finished. I sold that property for $46,000 and 99. Almost 2000, 99, 2000. I sold that property. I was so happy. I was elated. Come on, I got a bunch of money in my pocket. I didn't know what to do, and I'm thinking to myself, this is a good career. But I'm going back to the plants again. I'm going back to the plant. I'm going to finish working in manufacturing. And I excelled in that field, but that wasn't my calling. That wasn't where my true feelings was or my heart was. So that's how that goes. You know what I'm saying? You see what you do and you know what you do good. And I do bathrooms, kitchens, tile work. I do everything pretty good, and I'm meticulous to detail. All the ladies love to have me come in and do their bathroom like they dream. He said, yeah. I know that's right, Paul.
Oh yeah. I know. I understand. But you know what? That's an amazing story, because at an early age, listen, even though it probably seemed inconvenient at the time, right? Because you couldn't be with your friends, and yeah, I get that. But you having this understanding, first of all, like, you had clientele. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, before you were an adult, right? So you had work, you had clients. If kids want to go and get something, let's be real. We asking our parents, can we do some chores around the house to get an allowance? Here it is. You out doing work that professionals do, that adults do, that make a good living at doing, and developing and honing this craft and this skill from a very early age, to where now, being a very, very, very young adult with 19 and then 21, being able to be into the real estate game and being able to purchase property and then flip that and make a profit, but then being able to do all of that work. You know what I'm saying? I think that is a testament, because that's definitely something that, we see all the social media, gurus that are out here that are talking about that, as people want to become more well-versed in real estate, and rightfully so, but to have the skill set to be able to acquire property, that is pennies to the dollar, but to put that value back into it, to know how to do it. So that means you're saving money in the process, and then to get that huge return on investment, to best position you to either get more, right, or to be going on and doing other things. That's definitely something that, I don't think a lot of people understand how all of that works together. And so you just sharing that story, I'm sure, just kind of just sheds light on a lot of the practicality and the benefits of that as well, especially with the emergence of more CTE programs that are kind of coming into school. Like, they're starting to reintroduce career technological education, career tech education with all of these different clusters, including manufacturing, including construction, where they're starting to see, okay, if a young person has an aptitude for these particular career pathways, how do we begin to create an environment that cultivates that so they can move right into a career of choice, right? Because you buying assets and getting return on investments and stacking, what I'm saying, instead of acquiring a lot of debt, which happens at 21, so I mean, that's definitely something that can put a lot of young people on, to understand what their next steps can be.
Right.
Being a female as well, a black female, where there's more representation that's needed. Whether you know it or not, you are goals for somebody else, because that's what the industry needs more of. That's exactly kind of what we're here for. So talk to me a little bit, about kind of as you began to do that, and maybe it's tied back into your last story, but what's been your proudest moment so far?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Paul. Let me give you a little background on me, just a little quick, real fast, and I think I can wrap this up in like 2 minutes, real quick. So after I turned 19, 20 some years old, and I sold that first house, I ended up going back into manufacturing. I ended up turning to the streets, getting into bad things, incarcerated, then released. And when I came back out, I said to myself, you know what? That was stupid. I'm going to do something with myself, and I'm going to make a change. And the change I'm going to make is, how they say, everyone goes to school and the first thing they think about is, oh, I want to go to college. Well, I didn't think about college. I thought about going to work. I thought about working. And things weren't coming fast enough. So I ended up resorting to the streets doing dumb stuff. And those dumb things got me messed up to where my record was so destroyed that when I came home, all I could think about is, I need to educate myself. I should have stopped and went to college and educated myself. I want to stress that education is so valuable. It's so important. It opened my mind and my world to, at the time, I was 29, 27 years old. And when I came home, I thought, man, I'm going to college. I'm going to learn. I get into African American studies. I get into anthropology. I get into business law. I get into criminal justice. I started to open my mind to things that I don't have to live like this. I don't got to be circular. I can make a change. I can make a difference. I can succeed. So I turned around. I went to Detroit Training Center. We had a school here in Detroit who does residential renovation and gives you all those trades and classes that you need, heating and cooling, electrical, everything. And they provide the services for either re-entering citizens into society or just people who just get off the couch one day and say, I want to go and learn. There's grants and all kinds of money here right now in Detroit, Michigan to help you get there. So I went through the school and the program, and of course I already knew everything, so I was like, hey, this is going to be great for me. I go to residential renovation and lead abatement. I aced the class in 3 months, graduated top of the class, faster than all the men. I even started the teaching after 2 months of taking the class. They realized I knew so much, I ended up being an instructor. I teach, I taught, I learned. I even learned extra things that I didn't know, but I learned more things, and I taught for a whole entire year and a half to help other women and men succeed in this field. It helped me get my footing so good that now I want to say I'm not looking back, but my account ain't empty no more. My bank account ain't empty no more, but it ain't where I want to be, but I'm comfortable. I ain't waking up hungry. And that's the main thing. People need to realize that just to wake up not hungry and not having the bills due is a blessing. That's the golden thing right there. You know what I'm saying? And if you can just do that, put one foot in front of the other and get up every morning, we can make it happen. It can be a dream and it can come true. And if you know me, I will help you make it true. That's me, Paul. And I wanted to wrap that up for you so you get a little background on me, but understand that this has been a long crawl to get here.
No, that's good. And I thank you for sharing that, Tracey, because that's a reality of a lot of people that don't think they have an out, right? Or that thinks that, okay, well, hey, this is all I got, and it's important because like it's called reach for a reason, and sometimes you got to come into the context of somebody's life, and identify with what they're currently going with so that they can see what their next steps are. Because if you just cast a lot of vision, you don't understand context, you don't understand where they are, even though what you got may be good and helpful. If you're not connected with people and reaching them where they are, and they understand how to put one foot in front of the other, or they can identify with you, then you go miss them, And so you just sharing that, I mean, I'm telling you that connects with people who need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the reality of some, and we want to bring that hope, have somebody that they can identify with, that understand, their plight, and let them know that, guess what, you still have that potential to become what you have, inside of you. And your book is not over, you know what I'm saying? And so I think you sharing that, talking through that, and then for you to be going through that program, ending up teaching or what have you, I mean, you had and you still have a lot inside of you, and I think that speaks volumes, because some people, based on what they've gone through, what they may be currently in, or who's told them no in the past, think that they don't have nothing inside of them anymore, and maybe somewhere along the way they lost hope. And so, hopefully people can see that, hey, what may look to be a hopeless situation, there's still hope. You're still alive. You still got, some breath in your body. You still got an opportunity to put one foot in front of the other. You
got a chance to make tomorrow better.
That's right. That's right. Put one foot in front of the other, and it's incremental. You ain't gonna go from A to Z in one day. You ain't gonna go from A to Z in one step, but you keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you begin to see that progress, And so, no, I thank you for sharing that. In addition to that, because that's already like just enough. But do you get the opportunity to kind of share your story often, or on a regular basis, or with other young people that are in your community?
You say, do I get to share my story?
Yeah, do you?
Oh, no, I don't. I help those that be wanting help, or, like some of the customers, a lot of the ladies or men even that just need help with houses. I just help them out, and I make sure I'm there for them, and I give them I keep all the resources so they can reach out to who they need to be reached out to. But no, I don't share my story a lot. I don't tell anyone anything pretty much, because like at the current moment, I'm doing houses and projects and stuff all over the city. But my day job, I ain't gonna lie, my day job is construction. I do material testing for the Gordie Howe Bridge in Detroit, Michigan. We do concrete and road commissions, material testing. So that's my day job. But, I do this after 4 o'clock, and I enjoy it. It's something I enjoy. But, things happen, and you, like I said, to tell that story, I think people need to realize that there is people just like you out there who got very, very diverse stories, and stories that they think that don't nobody want to hear, or they feel like people don't care. It's all about the ticket. It's all about the money. These schools and these trade schools, true that it's a money grab, but in the same sense, what you're getting out of it is priceless. You know what I'm saying? Take your time, learn what you got to learn, take your time and do something you want to do, because the money and the funding is there. Just and if you having struggles and problems with trying to get there, or accomplish it, or understand it, reach out and talk to someone. Someone is there for you. I'm there for you. You know what I'm saying? I can help. You know what I'm saying? And it don't matter. I'm worldwide. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm international. I can help you anywhere. But honestly, you just keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. But no, I've never really shared my story or told anyone. And honestly, you're probably the first person I done told my story to in the last 2 years.
Thank you for doing that. That context that matters, and leaning in that vulnerability, especially in kind of our day and age, where what you see being presented, is kind of all cleaned up. Everybody got it right, but we're all going through something. You got that saying that's out there. Everybody is fighting a battle, right? That you can't see, and so being able to lean into that vulnerability, share your story, open up. I'm inspired, and I'm sure that our listeners and our viewers will be as well. So Tracey, I mean, it has been a pleasure having you on. I am so thankful that you chose to open up, to talk with me today, to talk with us, and much success to you, sister.
Same to you, my brother, and everybody there. Thank you very much, and you can reach out to me anytime. I'm always available to you guys.
Yeah, how can we get in contact with you? Let us know.
You can get in contact me at excellencepreferred@gmail.com or Tracey Hill on Facebook. My name is Tracey Hill. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, the same name. I never change any acronyms or anything like that. Just reach out to me. It's Excellence Preferred. EXCELLENCEPREFERRED. All one word at gmail.com, because it's excellence that you prefer.
Thank you. Thank you, Tracey.
Thanks again, everybody, for tuning into our show. Remember, like, share, subscribe to the podcast, and join the movement as we reach to build a better future that we can all be proud of.